Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm here to talk to you today about the state of Blackwings as of March 2023. So I've gotten a couple questions from people in my DMs asking about Blackwings and how I feel about the deck right now, and what do I think is going on as far as it topping and how it's performing. And honestly, the answer to that question is that there's really nothing that has changed with the Blackwing deck, to be perfectly honest. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's start there. It's been performing really well throughout the entire format, and considering all of the different meta shifts, Blackwing still remains very resilient. 2 of them topped Deck Devastators 3, 4 topped and won the In Real Life PS5 tournament that had almost 100 players. It just got second at the 3v3 Gladiators of Edison tournament, so it is performing well still. And I think that it's just weird to me, like, I understand Blackwings didn't top RBET 1 Season 2, so people started spewing nonsense because it didn't make top 8 at that one tournament, which is like a really weird hill to die on. I think in general, it's strange to just say, oh, this deck didn't top this one tournament, therefore it is not the best deck, or it's not as broken as people think it is, and all this other weird stuff. Like, that's just nonsense, and a lot of people who think that just aren't very smart. The truth is, most people who play Blackwings at this point are just fatigued from the deck. Like, I myself can speak from this perspective because I am just bored with it. I'm absolutely bored with playing Blackwings. I've been playing it for months. It has done really well in all of my playing, but the problem is there hasn't been much innovation in Blackwings in a very long time. This deck looks basically the same that it's looked for a very long time. So like, at best, people have moved from playing hybrid to playing pure, but even that doesn't really change the deck too much. It just kind of makes it very streamlined in what it does, and Grepher is awkward in the deck at the moment, so people have just, you know, cut that card. But other than that, like, the Blackwing deck is exactly the same as it's always been, and a lot of people are just seeking out newer options, which there's nothing wrong with. Like Explorer, I am currently playing Frogs. I absolutely love playing Frogs because it offers me a unique experience on the format. I don't think any other deck quite plays like it, and it has a really strong engine. So I think that the engine can keep up with Blackwings, outside of when, you know, the Blackwing deck draws Whirlwind and it goes unanswered. But against set monsters and certain strategies, the Frog deck is really powerful, which is why you've been seeing me play it. And Blackwings, again, nothing wrong with the deck, but there's only so many times I can Whirlwind Shore someone. There's only so many times I can, you know, Sirocco Bora pump for 37, attack over this. The deck wins really easily, but it's not that fun, if we're being completely honest. Like, winning is fun, yes, but a lot of the games are just like, all you're doing is attacking and summoning monsters. It doesn't really do any tricks or anything like that. And because of the innovations that have been made in Edison format lately, like Christia Sworn, new frog variants like the Frog Burn deck that Ronak made for RBET1, and the Machina Control deck, I think that people are just putting it down to play other stuff, and that is great. That's great for the longevity of Edison. That's great for tournaments in general, just to have a bigger matchup spread. It makes it a bit more complicated to figure out what to side deck. And I think that people are figuring out things like, you know, DD Crow isn't as good. There's a bunch of innovation still being made in the format, and I really like that. I think Blackwings will always be here to stay though, because it's just such a strong and overpowered engine. Do I still think it's the best deck? Absolutely. That has not changed. I still do think that Blackwings is the best deck. And if people are grouping Christia Sworn in with Fairies, even though those are 2 very different decks, I don't see why you also would not group Vayu Turbo with Blackwings. I mean, the deck is literally named after a Blackwing, so like, that's also a strange thing where people are like, oh, fairies are doing well because of Christia Sworn, but like, the fairy deck that people are referencing when they say fairies, it's not Christia Sworn. It's the fairy deck that just plays like Dimensional Alchemist and the grindy one that has like 20 normal summons in the deck. I haven't seen that deck doing well in a while. I think it kind of suffers from low representation, and it's also a very boring deck. Like, Blackwings is just a step above it as far as which deck is more boring to play. They're both very normal summon heavy, but the Blackwing cards are just more broken overall. So I think a lot of people, you know, people like easy wins, people like auto wins. I myself love easy and auto wins as well. So yeah, Blackwings are here to stay. I don't expect anything different in the coming months. I think that you will continue to see this deck top. You'll continue to see this deck do well. And the only thing that can really stop it is just people choosing to not really play it, because there aren't many things that can oppose Whirlwind and Blizzard and Dark Armed and Icarus Attack and all that stuff. It's just a lot. The deck has a lot going for it. But I was even surprised to find out that at RBET1, the most played deck was actually Zombies. Zombies ended up winning the event, but it was also the most played deck at that event. And I, prior to that tournament, was used to seeing Blackwings as the most played deck. So I think that it's just kind of two things happening at once. I think it's just falling out of popularity. And to be more specific, I mean the people who actually are really good at the game. I know that a lot of the fish tend to play Blackwings, and therefore it's still going to make a huge representation in any given tournament. But the better players in the format are choosing to just play other things right now. I think Hydro Pump chose to play Dragon Turbo at the 3v3. Cameron Saunders is on like Diva Hero Beat or Diva Hero. So a lot of people who were playing the deck and doing well with it, the better players, they have moved on from playing Blackwings, and that contributes obviously to it, you know, not being seen as much. And that type of thing can definitely contribute to whether a deck tops any given tournament. If the best players just aren't on it, then of course you can expect that it might not top that event. But I guess the other thing is that I don't think Blackwings are as free as people think they are. And this is something that I realized recently when I was talking to a friend who thought that they could just pick up the Blackwing deck and go out and win their local with zero effort. And I told him, like, you actually have to put in some time and effort into this deck to get it to function and know what you're doing. You know, it's not, oh, every game I'm just going to draw a whirlwind and win. That can happen on a given day. Like if it's your day, it's your day. But that's the same with any deck. Like I could play Christia Sworn and drop Christia on turn 2 against everybody, and then it's like, okay. But when that doesn't happen, when you're actually forced to duel, it's a real dueling deck. There are real decisions that have to be made. Granted, your cards are probably more powerful than your opponents, but there are decisions that have to be made. And if you flub those decisions, then the deck isn't as powerful, of course. But yeah, not to get off on too much of a tangent there. But yeah, the other thing is that people are trying new things in general. A lot more Machina players, a lot more Christia Swarm players. I shouldn't say a lot more, but there are just more people playing those decks. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the state of Blackwings right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.